Hi guys, welcome back to Taste Trek and Talkies. In today's video, we will be visiting the beautiful Vijaya Vittala Temple located in Hampi. Now, we'll be going to book the tickets, which is 40 rupees per head. So I'll be showing you the ticket counter in a second. That small building right there is the ticket counter. So the compound we're standing in right now is where cars come and they take you up the hill. I will be showing you that in a minute as well. So a little interesting fact about Hampi is you only need to take one ticket to visit all of the archaeological sites. This QR code can be scanned to get an online ticket as well. Now the ticket is not that expensive, it's only 40 rupees per head. Again, you can scan and pay over here as well at the ticket counter. And this right here is the ticket. Now, interestingly enough, the ticket for foreigners is around 600, whereas for Indian nationals it's only about 40 rupees. So there were plenty of European nationals coming to tour the city, and their guides helped them by taking these tickets for them. So since those guides are Indians, they only get a reduced rate, and no one will be able to tell the difference. Now these buggies right here, they take you to the top of the hill where the Vijay Vittala Temple is located. Now taking the buggy you'll have to wait in this queue right here, which takes quite a bit of time. It's not compulsory to opt for the buggy because right next to the compound there's a road that leads you to the Vittala Temple, and it's just a 15-minute walk. Honestly, you could walk there yourself if you wanted to. The road isn't that bad either. You could walk on it. It's pretty nice road, and if you had to take the buggy, you'd have to pay 10 rupees per head. Now that we're in the buggy, this guide right here is explaining everything that we're seeing on the way to the temple. So there's a couple other structures to the side while walking to the temple, as you can see right here. This right here is a small temple. I am really excited to see this temple because this is the kind of stuff you'd read about in history books. Like when I had history in 8th grade, this is a kingdom that I'd read about, and to actually see it in person, it is completely it's one of a kind experience. That's what it is. So as you can see here, the same road that we're going uphill on, people are actually walking to the temple themselves. So it's the same road to take the buggy and for people to walk on. The road again, as you can see, is quite nice. So we went there in December and the climate was quite cloudy and it was showing signs of rain, which is quite unusual because Hampi is known for being a very sunny place, very humid and very hot. So it was quite nice, the climate. The way we went there, there was no, we didn't sweat a lot because there's a lot to walk around in Hampi and there's a lot to explore and see. So the climate was very comfortable when we went in December. This stone walkway that you can see right here actually used to be a market called the Vijay Vittala market. So many nationals like the Chinese and the Portuguese came here to do trading. And as you can see, only ruins are left, which is due to the Mughals that raided these empires a very long time ago. And you can see these foreigners on the left. Then you see plenty of foreigners and tourists coming to visit Hampi in this season. So if you're booking a ticket, try to make sure it's off season because it's usually very crowded at times like these. Now you can see in the distant horizon the temple that's coming up. Me and my mom were really excited to go visit and see what's it all about. The stuff that you watch in movies, stuff that you watch in documentaries, stuff that you read about in history books, it's finally coming to life, and you're about to see it for the first time, so I was really, really excited for it. Even from a distance, you can see how beautiful this temple is, so you can only imagine what it looks like on the inside. Now, I will be showing you what the inside looks like in a minute, but just take a moment to appreciate the architectural integrity, the detail. It truly is an architectural marvel for its time. Not to mention, all of this was hand carved. No machinery, no tools, just simple human labor and some really sharp tools. So this right here is the entrance of the temple. This is where you show your tickets to the security guard. He's gonna punch the ticket for you, give it back to you, and you can use it to visit other places. And now, as we enter, you can see just how beautiful this place looks. Just take a look at all of these structures. It is absolutely amazing. It is really, really awesome. You can see the musical pillars, you can see the mandir, and in a minute I will be showing you the famed stone chariot. So this is the beautiful Vijaya Vittala Temple, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going to tell you a couple of facts about this temple. It was built in the 15th century, built by the king Krishnadevaraya, who was the ruler of the Vijayanagara Empire from 1509 to 1529 AD. Now, this ruler had played a significant role in giving the monuments its present look. The monument itself was built as an abode for the Lord Vishnu. Vittala is actually a reincarnation, one of the avatars of Vishnu, and this temple was said to be the offering of a home to the Lord Vishnu. And legend has it that this temple was so grand that when Lord Vishnu's incarnate Vittala came to this temple, he deemed it too luxurious for himself, and he decided that it would be better to return to his humble abode. The temple itself is built in the Dravidian style architecture, which is very prominent. All of the figures that you can see carved on the walls are the Dravidian descriptions of the gods, their incarnates, and some of these walls actually tell a bit of a story if you look very closely. They depict tales of greatness of these lords. Now, I will show you the musical pillars. So, an interesting fact about Vijayanagara Temple, there is a small shrine located where inside of the temple, if you hit the pillars on that temple, it produces a musical sound. Now, we weren't sure which shrine that was, but we did see some people banging on the pillars on the shrine in front of me. Now, let me tell you a fun fact about the Vijaya Vittala Temple. The 50 rupee note of the Indian currency, if you look at it, the image on the back of the note is actually the stone chariot from the Vijaya Vittala Temple. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't get the stone chariot on video because we were so entranced by the beauty of the place that we actually forgot to record it. But if you want, you could take a look at the stone chariot on the back of the 50 rupee note. You could look up pictures of it. It is amazing. The stone chariot itself is actually considered to be one of the most stunning pieces of architecture of the Vijayanagara kingdom itself, and it stands in the courtyard of the temple. It is one of the three famous stone chariots in India. The other two are located in Odisha and the other one in Tamil Nadu. So the stone chariot of the Vittala temple is actually a shrine that has been designed in the shape of an ornamental chariot. The shrine itself is dedicated to Garuda and had an image of Garuda enshrined into the sanctum. Because as per Hindu mythology, Garuda is the carrier of Lord Vishnu. When you enter this temple, it kind of feels like you've entered a different world. The vibe is completely different because this place is very far from any kind of modern settlement, like any cities or even villages are very far away from the sites. And as a result of that, you're so close to nature, you're so close to these sculptures that are ethereal almost. You get a sort of, it's hard to describe, it's a sort of aura emanating from these sculptures. Kind of feels like you've entered a game or a movie, and it really is one kind of an experience. Now, the Vijaya Vittala temple that you see today is actually not in the temple in its full glory, because the temple itself was actually partially ruined. The sanctum sanctorum of the temple once contained an idol of Lord Vittala. We'll be walking into the sanctum right now. However, now the sanctum is devoid of any idol. The central western hall of the temple was ruined a long time ago during the attack of the Mughals that led to the downfall of the Vijayanagara Empire in 1565. Now, the wheels of the chariot were actually once functional and it could be rotated, but some years ago the government cemented the wheels in order to avoid causing damage to them any further. And even tapping the musical pillars to emit musical notes is prohibited, as tapping over the years has caused some damage to the musical pillars of the Ranga Mantapa. Now, some places in the temple, like the one I'm in right now, the Sanctorum, is completely dark. You almost need to use a flashlight to traverse it. And the only source of light that are inside of these sanctorums are actually these small holes that are in the roof that filter through some sunlight. Now, this sunlight makes it a little bit easier to see in the dark, a little visible. However, you still will need a flashlight to actually see where you're going inside of these little sanctorums. This right here is what I'm talking about. There's these small holes that let in some sunlight, and it shines beautifully on these pillars, the shadows that come from it. Right, I'm actually using the flashlight right now, but it's barely visible. That's how dark this place is. So the sunlight really does come in handy. To anyone who is watching this video, you have to visit Hampi at least once in your life. It really is a one of a kind experience, and it is one of the top UNESCO World Heritages. People come all across the world to see it, and if you ever get the chance, you yourself must visit it as well. This place is enriched with history, it tells a story, and most importantly, it's a beautiful place.